Hello and welcome back once again, my friends. Hopefully, from a now quiet environment. Wow, we got a lot to cover, but let's get launched into this game because we got a bunch of courts to bust up too. Told on eternity, eternity, here we come. Great episode yesterday. A little less constant than I'd expected. We went to the Nether. We gathered up a whole bunch of quartz, which we're gonna be processing now, and then we'll see how far that goes. Okay, we don't have a lot more at the moment. We do want to do a bit of repairing while we're processing all this. Kind of little multitasking. So when last we hung out, which for me was yesterday, kind of midday-ish time, I was talking about how all the controllers on my PS4 were having issues. Well, good news there. It does seem that the little default cable that had come with us with it and served so well at recharging and keeping my controllers juiced for all the years I've had it, which was at least since like when I got it. Star Wars Battlefronts and Fallout 4 were the hot new games, so that tells you, it was pretty much when it came out that I got it, and has continued to be doing very well. I'm quite impressed, and at least yet, unlike things like phones and all that, when the new model came out in the PS5, they haven't yet started really forcing me out on the PS4. So I'm delighted, and Sony, awesome work. Yeah, I couldn't be happier. And so here's the great tale of that. So anytime I need something quick, I've got this little shopping mall area that's got a Best Buy and a Walmart side by side. And I guess it tells a little bit of my boomerness. When I think go grab something quick, I always think, oh, I wish the Micro Center that's like an hour drive away from me was closer. And then I go, okay, I'll go try Best Buy. And I just really struggle with kind of how they're going, and that's weird because as a kid, that was like nirvana when Best Buy first really took off. I still remember the location where I grew up. It was kind of this little footprint building. It wasn't the kind of big box multi-story affair that they are now. It was just this kind of little tucked away shop in an older building. But man, back then having that whole center that was at first full of cassettes and then CDs, and I remember getting my upgraded car stereo there and all boom boxes and all these kind of things. It was just like heaven. Well, and all the at least before I had any around me, I don't know, if they existed out there and I just didn't know about them, but that was where all the PC games and everything were too. You'd go and see just racks and racks of boxed CD. Yeah, I mean, they were on CDs, but, boxed with all the artwork and everything, the various PC titles that came out. So I've always, more than I should, I still associate and kind of, when I think of it, I think like, oh yeah, this is it. It kind of falls into that old Radio Shack mode too. And maybe it, never quite lived up to those expectations. But anyway, when I've got something like a cable like that I don't want to have to deal with Amazon and wait, right? I didn't want to have to, have all this deal. I go to Best Buy. And I went in there, and I was kind of like, all right, well, most likely this is something that, with their style, it would be over in the gaming area. So I go over, I find that. section without, just kind of blowing by the help people, and I kind of cruise around, and they obviously it's very much PS5, but to their credit, the whole top of the display was still PS4 DualShock controllers and all that. But I poked around, and they didn't have any. Let's go clean up our tools, and we'll maybe break these. How are these doing, by the way? Done. Okay. Let's do blocks. So I looked. They had charging cables, but they were only for PS5s, and I was kind of knew what the connectors on the charger looked like. I'd obviously just been looking at it, but I checked the packaging on the fours, and sure enough, USB to micro USB. All right, perfect. I know what I need, and I hunted around, and then I went to where like the kind of the laptop area cables are, looking for the USB to micro USB cable. It's not a PS4 proprietary or anything like that. Couldn't find one, but that's where my kind of beef on. Oh, I love the WASD attempt. Except it's always ESD for me because I try to exit and then then move. Anyway, we're gonna do tools and all that too. All right, you go away. I really don't need to repair that. I don't need to repair those. Didn't I have an extra? Yeah, I had an extra shovel. That went there. That's where that goes. All right, we're good to keep fortuning now. Just take the levels. So that's kind of one of my beefs with Best Buy, and this isn't meant to be a rant, really. It's just kind of I'm like, man, I wish, amid all the hype and everything, people would just take a step back and go, remember that old sign that was like, the customer was always right? Well, what happened to okay, the customer's needs kind of supersede the people putting the products in your store. And what I mean by that is, so I didn't find this stupid USB to micro USB cable. So I go up to the front where they've always got the guy that's sitting there like, how can we help you? How can we help you? And I said, hey, I haven't been able to find this. I'm looking for a USB to micro USB cable. You guys have any just cable generally sitting around? So he waves over another guy, and he's like, hey, this person is looking for a cable. I think we have some over in the laptop section. Can you check there? So he runs over, and sure enough, it's like a little open air table with racks underneath it, and he pokes and prods around. And it's like, dude, if you just point me in the direction, I know what a cable looks like. I can read packages as well as you can. Well, it turned out there wasn't one there, and it did help because he pulled up the store app on his phone. He's like, well, I'm checking in the 4 different areas in the store, and before we took another step, he's like, unfortunately, it sounds like we don't have any of them right now. We're just out of stock. I was like, really? That's weird. And he's like, yeah, it's kind of crazy how often we run out of stuff like that. But and that can happen to any store anywhere. I'm not, okay, whatever. You didn't have one, no biggie. But it's that idea that instead of laying out their store where it's like, all right, you got phones and phone stuffs and cases and all that, and I get it. And then you've got laptops and monitors and all that, and a catch-all area for connectors, all that kind of stuff. No. They try to have everything with everything that you could need. So. And Apple and some of those haven't helped. I think Apple's kind of been the driver, and it's certainly worked well for them. But their AirPods have a different power thing, and it goes all the way back to iPods and everything else. So that they were constantly changing the charger cables on their phones and everything else, so that they were never standard, and you always had to update. So every new version has got a different thing, and that's what got retailers in the habit of putting all these things in their various places, right? So instead of like just, hey, cables, here we go, it's, oh, well, this one goes with this, and here's the GoPros, and they have a bunch of cables there, and nobody, including the staff, has a chance of telling you where something may be, except to look on their little, in-store retailer app, which then means that the employees never really get to know the stocks. They're always looking at their phone instead. That's borderline rant. Having worked at some, tough retail jobs when I was a kid too, you had to learn where everything was in the store before you ever moved out of like rookie mode among the staff, right? And that was setting shelves at the ends of shifts and doing everything else. You had to know if a customer asked, hey, where are green Tupperware lids? If you were in like a Target, you had to know where those lived and be able to walk them right to it. And if you could do that, then you'd kind of cut your teeth. Of course, those were all, kind of early jobs for me, and you moved on before you ever really, really got to that point. But the point still held that you got good at knowing where everything was, and that was kind of the job one. Before you could, move into sales or anything else, you had to know what the store had and where it was, at least generally. That was how you moved up quick. And any job like that determines, if you're serving or anything else, you may not have everything question or set up, but you know the tricks to get by and convince people that you're taking care of them, and until you can really drill down on the answer. And the same went for retail as with serving or anything else. They're all variations on the same, and being able to think on your feet and all that, fill in and make up for a lot of I thought I was closer to that. Well, make up for a lot of lack of experience and knowledge while you're getting by. Anyway, that's a tangent. So at Best Buy, it turned out, hey, we got no cables, and of course, it was never in the experience like, oh yeah, just go look here, anything like that. So as I have the last like 3 or 4 times I've needed something, I needed an HDMI cable or an adapted HDMI cable at one point. Best Buy didn't have it. Walk next door to the Walmart, and guess what? That's where I found it. And same thing happened yesterday. I defaulted to Best Buy thinking, electronics and all that kind of stuff, and ended up going to Walmart and probably got a better deal than whatever price they would have run at Best Buy, because we all kind of know they're straight up fighting against Amazon. And I know Walmart gets a ton of beef for being the big boxy, retail everything, make fun of it. But they're so good at what they do, and whoever's out there, whether it's their electronics or anything else department, they seem to have that really dialed in. Because even more so than the last time I was in there, they seem to, I don't know if it's out of China or where they're coming from, but all of their cables, and every other electronic peripheral, if you want to call it that, have these common packaging types. They're kind of in like this orangey, bluey stuff, and it's like, and they were all kind of like catch branded generics, right? It's like Surf, Jam, all that kind of stuff. All the Jam stuff was all like headphone adapters and connectors, and all the Surf was all like web adapter stuff. But it was like, all right, we've got a supplier. It's not name brand, but we've got a ton of variety. And if anybody's been in electronics in Walmart, those poor people are more slammed. Best Buy is trying to be all about service to, boomers older than myself that are like, I'm totally overwhelmed. Make my phone work for me, right? And when I walked in, there's like a seating area. It's like the DMV now. There's this seating area full of old people that are sitting all waiting, and there was one for phones and one for computers, right? And they both, I mean, that's how they're getting by, and bless them, they're providing a service that people need and are willing to pay for. But yeah, you go in there and they'll set up your phone, or they'll help you, do whatever with your laptop when it starts giving you messages you don't know how to deal with. Let's do all these here. And Walmart's kind of no better when it comes to that. Here, we'll put these in here for just a second. Let's do irons. We've got a lot of those, and they should fill up our furnace here. So yeah, the Walmart, staff, there's people in there too, and they're all hunting around and at the little counter. The one girl inside is just totally overwhelmed. But I'm like cruising around, and after the thing, I kind of had the lay of the land. It had been a while before that I'd really browsed. I'm not a big, even before the pandemic stuff, I wasn't a big like go into the store and just browse the aisles. If I know I need something, I'll try to go in and get it efficiently and stay out of people's way. But I know some people love to, hey, let's just go shopping and check out what's out there. And not my deal so much. So I go in, I kind of took a few false steps because I kind of went back to where the cables were for the HDMI stuff and all that and missed them. But then, fortunately, before I found or had to ask for help, I did find them in a kind of a locked case, but they had all kinds of every possible connection that you wanted to coming off a USB. It's perfect, and it was locked, so I did end up having to go get help. But the saleswoman came over and she was happy to unlock, and I got a 6-foot cable instead of like the little 18-incher that they had. I wasn't sure when I was getting it. I was like, I don't know if 3's enough. And, seriously, the connector sits, or the controller sits like an inch from where my thing is, or just over to the side of it on the same shelf. But it was a little tight trying to maneuver the old cable that came with it into position when you wanted to charge anything. It just kind of got a little short, so if you like looked at it wrong, it would fall off the shelf, right? And at 3 feet would have been great. Now I got a little tendril, but the cable that I got, it's like the kind of knitted, for lack of a better word, I don't know what you would describe that as, casing instead of just the rubberized. So I think it's a little more resilient, a little more set to be moved around and stuff, and robust or durable, I guess. So I'm sure it will outlast the viability of a PS4 and its controllers from now on. Maybe not. Maybe it's cheap and it will fail more quickly, but I'm so happy with it. All the controllers got charged back up overnight. So that was really the good news. I kind of ran it a little bit, but I really want to shout out Walmart. I don't know if anybody even really gives it any thought, but it is so nice to have kind of an electronics section where it's like, all right, we get it. We're not going to try to tell you what's right for the product that you're using, but here's the options, and we'll try to cover as many bases as possible. And of course, they got AirPods and everything else too, right? They've got the custom stuff and full displays of all that kind of stuff, and you can do that, but you can still make it easy, and not just trying to go, oh, we're gonna say that the only time you would ever want to buy one of these is as an impulse while you're buying the device itself. Just, put them out there. So, shout out Walmart. Good job. Sam, whatever his name was. Um, you guys definitely are leading the charge at the moment. Now, do I want to make blocks? I guess I do. Oop. And we can make gold too. Boop. And coal. Boop. There we go. These I think are the only. Well, maybe our clay cooking. Wow. Are these really all that? Man, we cooked a lot of clay. I didn't expect that was going to be a deal. But here you go. I guess we'll just split these out. How are we doing here? Okay, this is good. Let's cook these few. Yeah, these are still barely touched on their coal. So anyway, that successful mission. Wow. Mission accomplished. Got the cable. All is good. Thanks for caring. Not that you did, but yeah. So I get back home again, and I wanted to go ahead and record again, and it hadn't taken me an unduly amount of time to get those done. But then the truck that had roofing on the side of it that had been down at the far end of the building had moved and was here, and I think they're scouting. If anybody was around back in the day, middle of the summer, we had a big old hailstorm here, and it looks like they're going to be probably repairing the roofs. Now, I haven't heard the pounding or anything. They may have just been doing estimates. I don't know, but there were people banging ladders right outside my window, and so that got held off. And then, that's right, there's an and then. This morning, when I got started, it was one of the apartments kind of above and to the side of me apparently is turning over, and they were dragging out appliances, and then the appliance truck pulled up, and they were like, every single step right outside my door, bam, 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 and they must have gone up and down. I don't know if they were like sizing them in and out, but that went on all day. I haven't had actual roofing. But then we had a massive old windstorm, and the little breezeway outside was like a rattle trap of leaves trapped in there going. So it's been noisy and chaotic. And once again, I'm late, so I think we're doing a single episode here today. But for all of that explanation, I think we are. Going to be at the point of trying out some of this roofing here. Just as soon as we can get this copper spread out. So let's put this slime away. We'll maybe run back upstairs, do that gold that I'm thinking of, get some more torches, maybe grab more scaffolding, because I think that first edge is one I'd really meant to look at more. See how we want to do it. Whoa. Okay, what are we going to do? Let's first of all not fire our bow into the ground. Let's do sticks and coal. We do still have our helmet swapped out. Again, I think we're going to be back into the nether, and probably before we really suffer any peril here. I mean, we'll We may fall off the roof a few times, but our boots are going to be more important than our netherite helmet for that. Those are good. Put that away. Stock up on those a bit. All right, we're good here. We could. Oh, I didn't realize we hadn't finished cooking those. We could just cook this copper up here, and we should. It's going to get stored up here anyway. So that's just as well. And then let's put the spare beef away. Never ends, guys. Never ends. So yeah, I think that wrapped up story time pretty well. We may have more noise challenges. I don't know what that's going to shape up with. I'd love to just kind of knock out a few episodes, but I don't know that that's going to be. Oh, we did not grab scaffold, and I can't for the life of me remember if we put the stuff after we'd done the little iron trapdoors over there or left it over here. So let's just grab some, and we'll maybe go back through the deal. Let's try to sleep. Oh, well, if that's good or bad. We don't have full stacks there. Think we'll get some dirt as well. And again, I don't know. I take that back. I may know kind of what, how I want to do this. But dirt always helps. Let's grab 4 stacks. We've got our quartz. And I only hope that this this configuration that I'm thinking of will work. There we go. All right, let's get into building mode now. And I don't have the bed because I think it's in tools. I've looked in and out of it, I know, a few times, but you're kind of blind when you're not looking for the thing, right? Okay. Nope. Come on, game. Right there. All right. Goodies and tools. We'll want these. Let's just go ahead and do them. And take them all. Now, for starters, we are going to want a bunch of stairs. And that says 2 stacks. And we'll want those. All right. Now, get this bed that I keep moving out of my hand. Sleep time. Good. All right, we can get a full day. Ooh, sorry about that. I think I moved the mic down into my swallow. All right, here we are. New day. Up we go. If I can avoid it, I don't think we're going to use too much actual scaffold now that I've done it. Maybe we will, though. Just for access up and down. So let's go here. And we'll come out this far. That way we can just send it up plenty high. Then get our spacing. We're going to do this, this, and this is where I hope this works. And probably... I don't want those there. I want them one lower. Because we don't want to have to crouch. Now, if I can... Oh, it's too high. Ah! You guys see what I'm hopefully going to accomplish here, though, I'm guessing. Don't get so busy trying not to fall off the back that we... Oh, that was not good. 1, 2, so we want to be standing here. That way we can put in and still move. And let's just make sure that this does in fact work. Good. So that's going to be as much of an eave as we have. I'm wondering if we want to go up one more for the sake of our little vents. Because that would effectively make them half, right? Why not, right? Who doesn't want a bigger, more beautiful barn? Let's do this dirt, though, while we're at it. And we can maybe even... Okay, here, got quartz, but we don't have planks, so let's get 2 of those. I'm gonna have to redo all the stupid these guys, although this is what I was thinking. So this, and then this would be our... Oh, wait, no. Although that could have been it. This is gonna be our deal. Right? No, these are actually gonna go... Hang on, I'll figure it out. These are going to end up where we're walking. Why am I fighting this so hard? Why don't I just do these, pick up the stupid things, these things. This has got to work eventually, right? Pretty resilient. Little buggers. Are you... I'm assuming that I could get by with those. What? Okay, that does. Good grief. Made that so hard. Didn't have to be. And then after all that, I do fall in by the trapdoor. Okay, now should we go ahead and do the rest of this before I forget and make it even more difficult on myself? So the last thing you want is a lopsided barn, right? Again, once this really gets going, which if I can't, or if I can manage not to make a hash of this, we might be more of a hash of this. Might be close to. I should check the time too. I have no idea how long we've been going. I mean, I don't think it took that long to process the quartz and all that, but I was in story mode. All right. One more to the short side. There's a little bit of extra. We're still not even with the tree farm, though. All right. Now, we're going to do... let's just do a full stack. Full row of dirt. I'll go the slow means so I don't fall off. Okay. Now, if we do that right. So, now get our stairs. And these are just gonna be... I made this tougher. But as long as we go just steady, we should be good. Of course, we're running out of daylight. Oh no, I didn't finish all this dirt. Ah. We'll totally make it before it gets dark. Unless, of course, we weren't ready. I'll just come back with quartz. now, if we just stay up here, the monsters will never know, right? It's like one of those little hammock tents in mountaineering. People, they love to show them like hanging out the side of the cliff, right? Okay, now we can try to do what I was trying to get for this barn all along. And that, actually, check the time. 40. Perfect. All right. And that is hang these reversed on the other stairs so that we get a little overhang. It's not incredible, but it would be that, that bit of cut on the roof. All right. Now we go shovel. And we'll have some cleanup there. Let's get those as well. They might as well be falling while we're doing all the rest of this. It looks clean up there. And yeah, it would have been a real shame to half cover those, but I think that still gives that kind of little under eave ventilation look. Oh yeah. Oh. We got a rogue scaffold. Let's go around to the other side. We'll put up the scaffold frame there. And can then run around on top to go get all those. So we want 3 out. Tall enough. Anybody surprised that I don't really know how many? Ooh, that may be trouble. But at least we can maybe get the edge out. Alright, that should be good enough. Go up to there. Let's run over here before our scaffold pieces do despawn. Uh-oh. Oh, there it is. It's just the one. Anything down here? Nope. Was that worth it? I don't know, but don't waste it, right? We don't need these, so let's clean them up. Now, this will be a decision for the inside. What do we want to do here? Because I don't really want that to be a gap. I mean, I guess that's all solid, but Do we just raise with these? I think so. We gotta get a lot of pieces. Let's just go down. If we can fit through the little floor hole. Alright, we need a bunch more stairs. Yeah, did you think we were done with quartz gathering? Not really even close. But that should get us through this course. We do still have a bit, and then let's get another 4 stacks of acacia. Up we go again. There. There. Oops. That doesn't entirely matter. Okay, now... I mean, if we're doing this, the dirt becomes less important as a fill, right? We might as well just do it the way it's going to be. Again, this one's going to be... This level is completely for the indoor benefit. There's no visible outside, so our height has already been stopped. And then this is our attaching layer. So we go to there. Now we've got to run our dirt support. Come on. Cows snorting with disgust. I know we haven't milked you down there. What I understand, that's kind of a necessity. There's two things that go on with that, and again, don't know for sure, but this is my understanding. For one thing, if you have a dairy cow and you don't milk it, it's very uncomfortable for them, right? There's pressure there. But the second is that much as it would have in nature, a lack of being milked tells the cow that in nature the calf would have weaned, so it wouldn't be nursing anymore. So the cow's body stops producing milk. Why did I put this outside? I'm like, why is this not working? It's so much tougher than the last time. Because, oops. There we go. Okay, now maybe we can do this a little better. Yeah, so if you don't milk a cow, in addition to it being generally uncomfortable for them, and I assume this is any milk-bearing, goat or anything else too, um, they will eventually, their body will take that as a signal to stop producing milk. So if the whole reason why you're breeding and growing these cows is to keep them producing milk for you, oh. I was already thinking block. The game knows better than I do. Perfect. Oh, do that. Let's get one more sleep in here. So now the next thing, and this is really important in the barn, is going to be the shape of the roof. I'm very happy with these first two courses, but there may be some trial and error here as we go to give it the proper barn look. Like, again, Midwestern kind of American style barns have a very distinctive shape of their roof line, and we're gonna try to get that because it starts very steep and settles into fairly broad at the top, and so it doesn't really fit into that pointed peaked roof like an A frame. Um, that doesn't really show much of anything there. But that kind of three, I think, is going to be our starting point. So I suspect. Let's get these. I gotta check time again too. If we're done, we're done. It won't be a big deal. But if we can, it's 52. We can go back up and take another look and kind of describe and maybe set something to take another look. Think we had a few more blocks of these. We do. Oh, and yeah, I think we need to do one of these too. What what are we gonna do here actually? Probably much easier to. We can do this. I think for the other ones, we'll just use scaffold to get up here. This will probably take up our remaining time. But I think we want this to be an overhang. That, ow. Oops. I couldn't get enough of that falling. I think it needs an edge like that. Seem to be shedding scaffolding as we go. So one of the deals with scaffolding that I struggle with is it's always tough to decide where you want to be Don't think we need any more of that. One of those, and then maybe one of these. One of these. Those. One of those. Clean up that. Clean up that. And clean up that. So put it out one. Put it out two. See how that goes. Probably no good at all. But. There. There. Oh, can't do it that way. But before we go, let's do that. That and that. And that. Yeah, this is going to be perfect for our timing. So we'll not do a next course, but get these little corners started. And that was just oversight. Should definitely have been planning that all along. There. 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 Good. Oh, yeah. Oh, let's make a final scaffolding cleanup run, and then we will wrap it up. Guess our wandering trader wandered off. All right. Well, look at how wide it is. It's like a highway. There was scaffolding up there, right? What? Maybe I was just seeing this one in the distance? Huh. Well, whatever. We're not going to be able to do the next half step. $58.02. So we aren't going to bother, but we aren't going to be able to do the next half step here vertically, which would have been cool. So it'll have to ripple in and be vertical here, and that gives that same kind of seam as up there, which is a little unfortunate. I mean, if you could walk this up, and that's that vertical half slab again, right? You know, if you could run a series of blocks here and then just plaster slabs kind of sideways onto the edges of these blocks, so they just sat right above this, that would be, I think, the ultimate angle for the beginning of a barn, because it starts almost straight and then cuts up. We won't be able to do that, so I think we'll just have to do a layer of quartz and then another stair above it. But that's what we've got to work with, so that'll be our next shape. But let's at least get down off the wall. And yeah, this is fun. We'll just park it here. Guys, like I said, I was a little late getting started, so unfortunately that's the only one, but I think this is great progress. Getting that edge line started, that's the most difficult, right? Everything else we can just work off the top of and bring it together. So we should be good from that standpoint, but I think this is really going to take shape, and rather than just being a big old box, should start looking a bit like a barn. So can't wait to watch that transformation in front of you guys. We'll see you back here for more, likely a few of them tomorrow, unless I guess it's probably lawnmower day or something tomorrow, but whatever it is, we'll deal with it, and we'll see you then. Take care, and as always, thank you so much for coming and hanging out. Take care. Bye now.